Hello Virgo, I hope you guys are doing well. For those of you who have never been here, welcome, welcome. My name is Shaki. This is going to be a Virgo general reading, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, for the last 2 weeks of the month of May. Can you guys believe it? Unbelievable. Flexible is your crowning energy. Flexible, this is a great card. You can see it. There we go. Yeah, this is a really beautiful card. All right. Flexible. You're going to be flexible, Virgo. You hermits. You hermits. Those of you who aren't aware, those of you who are Virgos watching this, card that represents Virgo is the Hermit. And it is very difficult for the archetype of Virgo to be flexible. But the energy here completely supports that, because you guys have a lot of change going on. And I'm getting lots of decisions that you need to make right now during this time period for sure. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's get the cards out for the week, and then we'll talk about your crowning energy. Okay, move these over a little bit. Alright, so let's get right into this. Let me see if you guys can see. I'll move this in a little closer so you can see them. Okay, so yeah, let me just try to move these over just a little. Alright, first things first, flexible, flexible. This is being adaptable. Trying to be adaptable without compromising right now. What's most important to you in your life at this point, okay? For those of you in relationships, it's very important right now for you to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Or do I feel like this is fuzzy? Let me move it out a little bit. Why do I feel like I'm having a hard time getting my act together here? Okay, I hope that's better. Yeah, so those of you in relationships, yeah, just be open to new experiences, learning new things, let go of rigidity, you know. That's just what this energy is asking you to do right now. You don't have to be right all the time. None of us do, right? So this energy asks you to compromise while still getting your needs met, though. This isn't like a sacrificial type of thing. You know, this card showing up can also mean that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who is going to turn out to be just absolutely incredible. So much more than you initially imagined, and they're going to end up being the right person for you. So this is all about being flexible in your approach to everything. And the danger of not being flexible, though, with this energy is this whole idea of rigidity, right? When we're rigid in our approach or thinking, what does that mean? That means really that we're losing our access to grow and to tap into our untapped potential, you know? And we end up in this space of this like us versus them scenario. So loosening up right now, opening up your mind and heart, just taking a more flexible approach to things, even if it's uncomfortable, it's going to end up really, really serving you. So this whole idea of meeting in the middle, and it doesn't only have to be in your personal, you know, your intimate relationships. Obviously, this could be with your friends, family, colleagues, everyone, because this is a crowning energy. So it's for every area of your life, every area. Then on Saturday the 18th, we have the Four of Cups reverse. Okay, and this indicates you're starting the weekend with a pretty high degree of dissatisfaction, with feeling like you're really ready for a change, but you're just not sure of what you really want. And if this is you, if this is resonating with you, again, because these are general reads, so some days might resonate, others won't, but you know best if you're in this space right now. Try a new tactic to something. Look at your relationships. Address what needs to be changed in them, or maybe even in your environment. And try to express your needs right now rather than locking them up. This is not a good time to play your hermit self, you know? This is a time to be outside of yourself right now and looking. And this isn't always very comfortable for Virgo. Obviously, you're going to be different. And not only because it's a general reading, but because everyone has other placements in their charts, right? But generally speaking, the archetype of Virgo has a really hard time with this. So push yourself, get outside yourself, and be not only flexible, but be really honest about the different areas of your life where you are feeling dissatisfied, and be really honest, you know, and figure out what you could do about what, and figure out what you can't do about what, you know, because this really does support you taking control and making life happen and changing things in a much more positive way for you. So I really like that. And then on Sunday the 19th, we have the Lovers card, which means relationship and decision. This can, for many of you, mean meeting a new partner, or many of you getting a new career opportunity. But either way, whatever it is, this is going to have a really significant effect on your future. So for those of you meeting someone new, know the person that's coming into your life right now is going to have a really positive influence and is the real deal as far as love goes. So that's awesome. But I have to say, that only happens if you're following your heart and you're willing to take the risk, which is not always the easiest thing to do, especially if you're nursing any pain from the past. You know, let's be real. It's difficult. Now, for those of you who are already in a relationship, you're going to be in a place where you're going to have to decide, you know, if you and your partner should take it to the deeper level or that next level, and whatever that means to you, you know, because the thing is with this energy, it's a long-term future energy. This is not like the short-term stuff. Like, what are we going to do over the next, you know, 6 months? This is like long-term stuff. And this is you really needing to look at this stuff, because you're being asked to make very mature decisions right now, you know, in the biggest way. I like this energy, though, a lot, because it's very realistic, you know. Even though it's the Lovers card, and those of you who've been watching my videos know I always talk about the clouds and the trials and tribulations that they have to get over before they can be that idealized couple and all of that. But I like, just in general, like in a general read, I think this is such a realistic energy, you know, because this is all about making decisions and facing compromises and dealing with adversity while on the path to something that's ultimately really beautiful. And that's very realistic, which I like that. This is, you know, you're putting in the work and you're having beautiful results. So, you know, I love that. And then on Monday the 20th, we have the Seven of Swords reverse, okay? And this is about having a tendency, this feeling of maybe feeling the need to take a strong stand on something. So just be really careful with this, because remember, flexible, but depending on what it is, it's going to be something different for all of you. But some of you may be dealing with some legal issues or issues at work because of a very difficult person or very difficult people. This is a weird energy. And I say it's weird because this is that kind of energy where you have to think. You have to try to strategize what you think the other person's next step is, or what they might be planning. It's like that energy where you have to try to plant yourself in their head, to try to like think like them for a minute, to try to circumvent what you think they might be thinking or might do next. Like, this is a real, like, be on your toes energy. So listen, if this is the deal, just go into the day knowing that, right? I always say these weekly reads, it's all about to be, you know, forewarned is to be forearmed. To go into the day knowing the energy is possible. And if it comes along, you know what to do. you know what to do. And when dealing with difficult people, I say, try to stay the hell away from it if you can. If you can't, you can't, right? But just know that it's a minor arcana and it's temporary. So don't worry about it, okay? Then we have the Fool in reverse coming up on Tuesday, which is the 21st. Okay, so this indicates that something that you're thinking about right now that you really want to do might be a little over the top or maybe a little unrealistic for you right now. This can indicate irresponsible behavior, thinking without speaking, doing something without thinking it all the way through. That could end up sabotaging your chances of doing something that you really want to do, because there is an element of irrationality in approach or in mindset in this energy. So you know, just really important. Not a big deal. It's really important here that just think really carefully before agreeing on a new approach to something having to do with work, having to do with your relationship, you know, but just make sure you have all the answers and you feel like your feet are planted on the ground when making the decision, you know. And then Wednesday the 22nd, we have the King of Wands reverse, which is just going to be, it's going to have you feeling pretty frustrated as you're trying to get others to see your point of view. This is an energy where you do need to check that you're not going against your intuition or that little voice in your belly in some part of your life, right? Really try to identify, do you feel like you're following the right path? You know? Because if you don't, drop the self-pressure and just be open to other ideas and other paths, other career paths or other opportunities, other whatever, fill in the blank. It could be another relationship, other career opportunities, whatever. If you're not really, and we know when we're not on the right path, guys, you know, if we're honest with ourselves and we're open, we know. It doesn't mean that we could just go in and quit our jobs and pack our bags and get the hell out of Dodge. That's not what it means, but it's definitely an energy that supports starting to turn the ship in a different direction, you know? Yeah. Yeah, but I do get, listen, many of you guys are going to be dealing with somebody who's really opinionated and selfish and aggressive in their approach. So this could be why you're being poked to consider the situation you're in. That makes sense to me. You know, just very obsessive about rules and certain ways of doing things. And they don't like to listen to anyone that they don't agree with. And just very self-interested and determined to get their way. So, in short, on Wednesday the 22nd, you may be dealing with a major pain in the ass. But again, this is not a major arcana. Go into the day knowing it, okay? Then on Thursday the 23rd, we have the Seven of Cups. We have the Seven of Cups reversed. So this shows you thinking about everything and trying to decide on a definitive path. But this reversed position, it just indicates that you're going to be feeling extreme emotions at this time. And it's only because you're going to feel frustrated. That's it. So you want to be aware of the danger here of idealizing a situation and or avoiding a difficult truth, you know. So in relationships, this can mean being deceived by appearances. In particular, though, for those of you who are with someone new, this person may not be exactly who you think they are. So pay attention, okay? This is really not a good energy for commitment, you know, on this day. It's just not. But the thing is, too, with this can be something, a suspicion that you're cooking up in your mind that is based more on insecurity and feeling vulnerable from issues that happened in your past than on fact. So just make sure if you do think someone's up to something, get the facts. You know, get the facts in this energy. Because this can be a little confusing, for sure. And just step back until your options become more clear, you know? Till you have more answers to whatever this issue is, okay? And then on Friday the 24th, we have the Knight of Swords, which tells me that you're going to be going into the weekend with some kind of unpredictable roller coaster sort of drama where truths are going to be coming to light and some underlying conflict is going to be exposed. Now, this can be very eye-opening in a good way. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be very eye-opening, or it can be stressful. It really does depend on the situation and on your story. But in short, it does say expect the unexpected. Some of you may be experiencing some tension at work or within your families, while some of you may be feeling this in your romantic relationships. But I am getting whatever the issue is here, though, you are most likely not ultimately responsible for whatever's going on. So it's important for you to pay attention to how you actually respond to this issue. And you may want to just like rise above, step back, you know, until this energy kind of settles down a little bit. But I am getting it's not you. So if somebody's trying to blame you for something, You might need to check them at the door. Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's go into the Rider-Waite for the week of the 25th. Hopefully we get some nice... Yeah, I'm getting a mixed bag for you guys, but I like it because I feel like it's moving in a really, like a really positive direction for you ultimately. And I love this flexible energy. I really do. I love flexible for Virgo and for Capricorn too. I think that's a great energy to work in for those two particular signs, you know? Yeah. Six of Cups. I love that energy. Something so innocent, nostalgic about it. We have 4, 5, oh, 7 of Cups again. Oh, we have the Tower. We have the Tower. Okay, let's move this up. Okay. Is that right? Okay. So, Saturday the 25th, we have the 6 of Cups, which tells me that you guys are going to be having a very reflective day. You know, many of you are going to be connecting to your inner child. This is going to be a time of feeling very reminiscent. You know, thinking about, too, the season that we're in right now. Can you guys see these? Thinking about the season we're in. You know, this is like the season of communions and graduations and weddings and all that stuff. So, you know, you guys may be running into, you know, old friends or distant family members. You know how those things go. But just really nice. I feel like in some way the past is going to be all around you and it's going to bring you peace. A really beautiful peace. I love this energy for you. There's something very innocent about it. Very innocent. Except for the part where some of you may be having an old flame come back and you're going to need to figure out if it's worth going back to. But besides that, I love this energy. You know, if you're wanting an old flame back, then good, because this energy does support that. But some of us just don't want to open that door again, right, Virgo? You know, so that's Saturday. And then for Sunday the 26th, we have the King of Pentacles reverse, which indicates a vibe of stubbornness in your life. Someone is very reluctant and not willing to go beyond their comfort zone. This can be you, or it can be somebody you're dealing with. Someone materialistic and secretive and not very honest. So I don't think that's you, because Virgo's very honest. But this can be in areas of money or having to do with money. Or even in the area of support. Meaning emotional support. Because that is, you know, values and the ability to be supportive and be supported, you know, by people in our life is also indicated with the pentacle. So the fact that it's reversed does tell me that you're going to be feeling, you know, not very at peace in this area. So again, it could be money, or you might just be feeling, oh my gosh, I'm going through all this change. I'm trying to make all these decisions and my partner's not listening to me, and my friends aren't listening to me, and my family, you know. So you might feel like a little alone here, but there, you know, is this feeling of not being supportive. I'm getting actually pretty strongly. Then we have the 3 of Wands reverse on Monday the 27th. So this tells me that you're going to be having some issues with communication and still this stubbornness, man. I don't know. Are you going to be... I don't know. Are you going to be feeling frustrated in relationships at this point? Because you feel like no matter what you're saying, and no matter how clearly you feel like you're saying it, you feel like no one's understanding you. This is very frustrating, and this too is rather isolating. But this is a minor influence. It doesn't mean this is not a big deal. I want to tell you about the energy because this is what I get. Okay? Go into the day knowing that. But these minor arcanas are passing influences. So don't give them more power or worry so that you end up attracting these things to yourself more than, you know, more than they deserve. The minor influence, I'm not worried about this because this card is actually really, really positive in the upright. So just the fact that it's in your spread, I like it. So just be on the lookout. And if you run into this energy, just tuck yourself away somewhere for a minute, you know, till it passes. And then on Tuesday the 28th, we have the Magician reverse, which tells me that you're dealing with a little bit of a trickster, someone who is rather manipulative. This is the energy of what you see is not really what you're getting, for some of you. Now, for others of you, this can indicate you feeling very torn between two paths or two choices right now in your life that you actually feel blocked by, meaning not making the decision yet is blocking you from progressing forward in the way that you really want for yourself. So this tells to just make a choice. Choose an option, choose a path, and commit to it fully. Fully commit to it. And the block's going to be lifted. And that's so liberating, right? When we finally make a solid decision. It's so liberating, right? And then on Wednesday the 29th, we have the Page of Swords reverse, which says you're going to be dealing with a stressful situation that ends up being blown out of proportion. And you're going to be dealing with someone who really likes the drama, who you're going to feel very let down by this person, because this was someone you thought at one point in your life you could really count on, but this person has an awful lot to say, but very little substance, and is very good at deflection, not wanting to take responsibility for anything. So, yeah, and this person can be in any area of your life, since it's a sword energy. This could be work, it could be an intimate relationship, it doesn't have to be, it could be a friend, a family member, anybody. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's try not to worry about that too much. Yeah, and then Thursday the 30th, we have the Seven of Cups energy again, but it's up right here. All right, so listen, Virgo, this is you looking at everything in a healthier mindset and really being able to identify all the possible obstacles that you may have ahead of you. We can't possibly know them all, but you certainly have your thinking cap on, and you really are doing that Virgo thing where you really kind of like writing the story before you walk through it sort of thing. And I'm getting at this time that you're going to be making really big choices in your life. These are pretty big things. And I like, though, that as the month progresses, I'm sensing you gaining clarity. So I love that it was reversed before and now it's upright. And that's just you gaining clarity. So that's great. Okay, and now Friday the 31st, we have the Tower. Okay, no worries. Okay. This is a Mars energy, which many of you know, planet of aggression and self-defense, which typically creates dramatic change in our lives. This can indicate a breakup or a breakdown of certain relationships in your life. Can be intimate relationship, but it can also be something to do with your home or something within your career. But the thing is this, you have to know this about the Tower energy that I do wish more people would talk about. Because I actually think this is very healthy energy. Because it can symbolize the destruction of false ideas. And those are terrible anyway, right? So it's false ideas, false beliefs. This is a really healthy purging. And it's in the name of protection and self-preservation, as an old way of doing things falls away so that a new way of being and doing can begin. So I don't mind this energy for you, especially because you have the Oracle flexible. So this makes sense to me. I feel like Virgo, first of all, I don't remember if I mentioned it yet in this video, but we do have the eclipse season coming up in July. And typically with that, I'll talk more about that when we get into the June videos, but just something to, keep in your hat and be mindful of. The eclipse energy starts around 6 weeks before the eclipses actually begin. So we're in the eclipse lead up, I guess you want to say. It's not the shadow, but it's sort of like the precursor to it. And it's the 6-week energy. So a lot of signs are really feeling things shifting away, and they're feeling the eclipse in many areas. So don't be surprised if you're feeling very pushed and very, really pushed to make decisions and make choices and to allow things to fall away in your life and to welcome in new things and to be forced to look at fears. Because this is the energy that we're in. you know, and, you know, I'm not going to get into the cycle that we're revisiting. I will do that more in the June videos, but I want you guys to think back to like around 2000, give or take a year, and around, you know, from 2009 to 2011. I want you to think about those two time periods because a lot of that similar energy is surfacing back. A lot of the lessons we had to learn during those years are circling back in different ways, you know. So just be mindful of that if you're feeling a sense of familiarity in the lessons that you're dealing with right now. But it's all good. I like these 2 weeks for you. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing a love spread next week after I finish up with the last 2 weeks of May. And that's going to be, though, for singles, okay? I don't pay enough attention to them, I've been told. So, and I agree. Then I'll be doing the beginning of June reads probably after that. So if I don't see you for the single spread, if that doesn't apply to you guys, I'll see you at the beginning of June. All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.